Hello, it's John here for a quick Aphid tutorial, and today we're going to be making a in-game compass. So I want a compass that's kind of always going to point north in my game, and all I'm going to do is quickly create a needle inside Sketchbook. So I've just got symmetry on. Be careful not to grab that middle thing, otherwise you'll move it and that'll be really annoying like I just did. But ultimately what we need is our needle to be in the middle, and I'm going to turn off symmetry and quickly just fill that, and let's get a white brush and give it a nice white middle. Cool. That'll sort of do for now, and let's hide the background, and we're just going to save this as a PNG. So I've saved this as a PNG, and it's not perfect, but it'll sort of do for demonstration. No, I've tried to place this in the middle. I could have checked with Photoshop, but it'll be fine. And inside Unreal, what we're going to do is we're going to import said texture. And once we've done that, we're going to right click it and create material. The material is going to be fine by me. Alright, and let's just put this on a plane, switch this to a masked material, grab our alpha and put this into our opacity mask, that way we'll just get the needle. And for sort of sake of test, what we can do is if we had a custom rotator and drag this into our UVs, and let's get a, oops, not texture sample, hold U to get a texture code, and let's get a time and put a 1 second period on it. This should, in theory, give us a rotating material. Cool, as you can see, we've got a rotating material. It's not quite centered, so you can see we've got a bit of a wobble going on, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not very hard to fix. Look at that, spinning compass. And obviously instead of using a plane, we could probably put it on a cylinder to sort that out. But for now, that's sort of the idea. And what I want this to do is update relative to north in the game. And we could, in theory, like, there's potentially ways about doing this, but it seems complex and I don't know the best way, so I would like to do this in the material. Maybe do it by getting, like, the world position, or like the position of like the camera or something. Oops, position. And like if we clamp this between 1 and 2, set you there, press save. We can sort of see what this does. See if this makes a difference. This should, in theory, well, you can sort of see it peel up as we get closer. I don't know. That's not what we're going to do anyway. We don't even need this. Let's just delete that. Because what we're going to do is we're actually going to pull the information off a blueprint. So we're going to need to get this in a blueprint. So I'm going to create a blueprint, and we'll just set this as an active for now. It doesn't really matter. Needle BP, and open that. And inside of here, let's get ourselves a plane, and let's put our material on said plane. Did that go on? It did now. And let's pull it away from the root just so we can see it a bit better. Cool. There we go, we have our material. And we can hit compile. And what we're going to do is we're going to update this to sort of rotate as to where north will be. And how we're going to do this is we're going to set this up as a function in the event graph. So let's create a function, and we'll call this update compass. And inside the update compass, we're going to need a couple of things. First of all, And most importantly, we're going to need this to set actor rotation. Set actor rotation. Now, with the actor rotation, what we're going to need to do is we need to get the plane, and we're going to need the reference for that, because we're going to need to get its world position. Get world position or location. And we're going to then need a find look at rotation, and it's going to be our start, and we're going to need a target, and this is where we're going to set north up to be. So in theory we could set up a variable for this, but if you don't want loads and loads and loads of variables, let's just get a float plus a float. We don't want a float plus a float, do we? Want a vector plus a vector. Vector plus a vector. And if we sort of set this to, I don't know, let's go 200. And I only want to do this on the z-axis, because otherwise it'll sort of rotate on every axis, and we don't want rotation on every axis. So what this is essentially saying is north is xxxx, I mean xyz. So if we put a cube down, for example, and we put this on 0, 0, 200, so it's above ground, this right here is considered north. Obviously, if north, we'd probably want this to be all the way over here, which will be like that, and then we'll type that in there. But to test it working, we're just setting it to that. And from here, we can put this in rotation. I mean, if we want to go into more detail though, we could break rotator, and we could make rotator, oops, we just want, again, just reiterating, we just want the Z, and let's plug U into here, and let's give this a quick test, shall we? So I've got the, no, we'll just delete this. So we don't need U, we need a needle BP. And we'll scale it up for sake of test. And let's press play. Oops, let's press simulate. And right now it's not facing the right direction. But let's see what happens when we move it. It is still not facing the right direction, obviously, because we're not setting this. So set timer by function name. Sorry about that. So looping, yes, do this. And the reason I've done it as a function is because otherwise I'd have to do it by tick, and then it's going to update information like just really, really rapidly. So let's set a function name to tell it which one to do, which is update compass. All right, should we try this again? Let's try this again. Play. Ooh, it did move. And you can see how it's trying to point to something. The angle's not quite right though. We need to change our initial rotation in our viewport. So if it's currently facing this way, just hit simulate again. Let's just rotate it 90 degrees. So it's currently pointing towards that when we hit simulate and press play. Yeah, cool. And select true, and now it's pointing towards where we say to, which is awesome. That's really cool. And that's pretty much that's just us updating, setting the compass to always point north in game. And like I say, it's kind of handy, it's pretty cool. And maybe I should take this a little bit further and add it to a character. Shall we have a quick look at how we could add it to a character? So we've got a playable character here. And inside the viewport, let's add a cylinder, which will sort of act as our compass for now. Scale it down a whole bunch. We'll just leave it quite big now for just sake of test. Shall we? You know what, let's go a little bit, 0.25. And on the cylinder, let's also bring in, I think it's in textures. We're going to just drag this in. I'm going to need to see more. Dingo. So needle, BP, let's drag this onto the cylinder so it's attached at the cylinder. And let's find our needle, move it up so we can see it. There we go, it has the needle on it. And let's just attach this to the mesh for now. Or the hat for now, let's just, no, if it's on the mesh, we just need to give it a socket. Find head, oop, not head socket. You know what, for now, instead of adding it to that, we'll just add it to the hat. There we go. No, you know what, let's just leave it at the side for now. It'll just float around at the side of him for now, but we could attach it to his hands should we want to. And plain selected viewport now has a compass, oops, that always points to north. And again, you can attach this to your person, and how I think I'm going to set this up to work is it's going to be attached to his hand, he'll pull it out to his face, and maybe the camera will peer over his shoulder so we can see or some kind of much nicer visual way of doing it. But there you go, guys, we have just created a compass and attached a needle that's always going to point north. Again, just sort of a quick note, this is going to be quite memory intensive, so where we've got this time, we could in theory create a variable. Let's call this time, and by default time could be, I don't know, let's just say 1. So now it's only going to run this process, it's only going to trigger this every 1 second as opposed to all the time. And this might be just when it's in his pocket or in his, you know, if he can't really see it that often. And what we could do later is when he pulls the compass out of his hand and it begins focus, we could update this variable to actually change it to a more relevant update time, so it doesn't seem like there's going to be like any frame loss, and it's just going to be able to control that a bit nicer and better. But there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching, thanks for your time.